morning dear students, welcome you all in our virtual class learning that we have started. You know that standard 11 science and commerce we are just made to the virtual learning only because you all are new for me and I am also new for you. So students, myself Manisha Isai. In the previous lecture I made the lectures for all the three standards, that is why our introduction is remaining. So I am Manisha Isai and I am taking your English this year, okay, in science and commerce both. So students, you know, before this lecture I have sent videos of grammar that are tenses, means all the tenses I have taught you, and I made the emphasis over that you have to study the tenses thoroughly, because in your future once you have to do all the grammar part, okay guys. So before you start the grammar part, tenses is the base, we can say fundamental. Once you know the tense, then it is very easy for you to do the translation. So guys, I am starting my lecture here with this O, and see, prose 1. You know guys, you have two textbooks. I am going to write the name of the textbooks. You have two textbooks in standard 11. First is Hornbill and second is Snapshot. This is your supplementary textbook. Means this year you have two textbooks of NCERT. First is Hornbill and second is Snapshot. That is the supplementary reader. So guys, from the book Hornbill, I am going to start the first prose of your class, and its name is The Portrait of the Lady. So here, portrait means what? Actually we are using this word for frame, okay? But here, the narrator Khushwant Singh has narrated all about his grandmother in this chapter. Means whatever the narration, or we can say the description made by the author about his grandmother, and that is why the name of the chapter is Portrait of the Lady. Lady itself means the Khushwant Singh's grandmother. So students, here I have written some phrases. These are also given in the textbook, but its meaning I have written. So what you have to do? You have to make two notebooks. First for Hornbill and another for, you can make the two parts in one notebook also. Hornbill and Snapshot. Both notebooks, whatever I will teach the chapters to you, you have to write down the question answers of the chapter in the notebook only. Better, because you all are new and you don't know what is the rule, how to make the notebooks. Then what I told you, you have to make notebook for Hornbill, or you can make in two parts in one notebook itself. That is one for Hornbill, half part for Hornbill and another half for Snapshot. Second thing, that in my grammar lecture I told you, make the separate notebook for grammar. Whatever the grammar I have been taught to you, you have to note it down in your notebook very nicely in a good manner, because this is helpful for you in future, not for only 11th and 12th, but for future. So you have to write it very nicely, and 100 pages notebook for compo, essay. I will give the essays, whatever, like notice writing, storytelling, whatever it would be. So you have to make three notebooks. One for the Hornbill and Snapshot, means your CW notebook it is. You have to write all the question answers, whatever I will explain the lesson in the class, you have to write it down. Second notebook for grammar, and third small notebook. Small means that large one only, but of 100 pages for your essay writing. So guys, got it? You understand whatever I told you? Okay. Then we will start the next lesson, The Portrait of the Lady. It is written by Khushwant Singh. As you know that in standard 10, you all have written the question answers with introduction. So whenever you are going to write any introduction, in that part, you have to familiar about the name of the author, that who has written the particular lesson. Because in introduction part, you have to write the name of the author. So parallelly, whenever I am going to learn, going to teach you any chapter, parallelly you have to learn about the author, that who is the author of this text. Then some phrases I have written here. The phrases are, first, the thought was almost revolting. Okay, first phrase is the thought was, एक second ना students. Okay guys, I written again. Okay, so student, phrases first. The thought was almost revolting. It means that it was disgusting to think so. Second, an expanse of pure white serenity means widespread, clear and calm whiteness. Second, a turning point, the time when an important change takes place. Accepted her seclusion with resignation means calmly submitted to her loneliness. Then, a veritable bedlam of the chirpings means real confusing noise caused by the chirping, means caused by the birds. Next is sixth one, frivolous rebukes. It means light rebukes. Rebukes means little bit we are going push-ups. Then the sagging skin of dilapidated drum. It means that the loose skin of an older drum. So let's start with this. These are the phrases you have to write in the before the starting of the lesson. This is your textbook of Hornbill. This type of cover will be there. You have to buy it from the any stationery. Okay. So the first lesson you have given, we are going to start it. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People say that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband. But that was hard to believe. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest and he looked at least 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he would only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. See students, the first phrase come over here. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child that seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Here in the beginning of the chapter, the narrator Khushwant Singh narrated about his grandmother, that he is saying that my grandmother was a very old lady. From the last 20 years she is looking same. No one can believe that she was young and pretty in her means whenever she was young, at that time she was young and pretty. No one can believe it. Why? Because from last 20 years the author had seen her the same way. That is, she was very old and means old lady. And her grandfather's portrait was hanged over in the wall. It is the mantelpiece, means in the main wall. Mantelpiece means what? Whichever the pictures were hanging on the main wall, that are called mantelpiece. So his grandfather's portrait was hanged over the wall. And the author was thought that his grandfather was looking so old that no one can believe that the grandmother was the wife of him. Because he was looking so old, no one can believe that it has only one grandson. One can believe that the grandfather has hundreds of grandsons because he is looking so old. And it was a thought of, that is, the thought was almost revolting, means no one can believe that the lady, means the author's grandmother, was the wife of that person that is hanged over in the wall. Means what? The lady was not looking so old. Either she is old, okay, but she is not looking too old as compared to his grandfather. Next, the author is saying that the grandmother was used to tell her childhood stories to the author, because whenever the author was also the child, the grandmother was an old lady and she used to speak about the old stories and whatever the game she has played. So the writer considered them as a prophets. Means the writer is considered that prophets means what? The person who is making the preachings, जिसको हम लोग साधु संत ऐसे कुछ बोलते हैं, और हम लोग बोलेंगे कि पैगंबर और जो गॉड के मैसेंजर्स होते हैं उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? प्रोफेट्स. सो द ऑथर इज थिंकिंग दैट मे बी द लेडी वाज मीन्स हिज ग्रैंडमदर वाज टेलिंग देम द स्टोरीज ऑफ हर चाइल्डहुड, द गेम्स शी हैड बीन प्लेड इन द चाइल्डहुड. सो द राइटर वाज थिंकिंग दैट दे आर लाइक द प्रोफेट्स. Okay, the writer supposed to do them as like the prophets. And so the writer is saying she had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. No, we were certain she had always been, as we had known her, old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older, and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. She hovered about the house in a spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop, and the other tailing the beads of her rosary. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. Here, in the second paragraph, the narrator has narrated about her grandmother, that how actually she was looking. She was a fat lady, and we can say short. Short means not heighted. She was a fat lady, short and bent, little bit bent, because she has a stoop over here. Stoop means वो ऐसे ऊपर निकला होता है पीछे का part. In English it is called stoop. So she has a stoop, and she was used to hobble in the house. Hobble, she has a problem in one leg, and slightly she was handicapped. She was walking like a handicapped person. So that the writer is saying that always, whenever the writer was a small child, and from that time onwards, whenever he become a youth, then also there is no change in her grandma. She is looking same from the last 20 years. No one could believe that she was pretty, because the writer is saying that whenever she was young, she was not pretty but beautiful, because her nature was very nice. Okay, so further the writer is saying that her grandmother was used to hobble, means little bit handicapped way. She was walking in the house and doing her regular course. She was reciting the prayers of God, means her lips are always moving in reciting the prayers, and in one hand she has a rosary. Rosary means what? वो रुद्राक्ष की माला होती है, पता है तुम लोगों को, बूढ़े लोग ऐसे ऐसे वो कहते हैं. That is the rosary beads. She was always to recite the prayers through the rosary, and the writer has a great attachment with her. The writer is saying that her hairs are compared with the white silver. Okay, the writer is saying that her hairs are like the silver white threads. They are shining in the sunshine, and she used to wear a white sari every day. So that white sari the writer has compared with the phrase an expanse of pure white serenity. Means what? She has used to wear a white sari every day, and she is looking a very pure, and we can say the auspicious lady, because she used to wear that type of clothes from the past 20 years. So the writer is saying that she has an expanse of pure serenity, and whatever the writer's grandmother is looking, he is comparing her grandmother with the white mountains that are covered with the ice, that are covered with the snow. How they are looking when the sun rays are falling over them? They are shining like a gold. In the same way, the writer is saying that my grandmother was same as that of the winter mountains, and that is why the writer has a great attachment with her grandmother. From these two paragraphs, you come to know that students how attached the writer with his grandmother. So let's see what happened next. These are just the two paragraphs, and the writer has narrated very nicely about her grandmother. Now, next paragraph. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in a hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden sled, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Now here, the writer is saying that how the writer was attached with the grandmother. See students, here Grandmother, writer is saying that my grandmother and me were good friends because the author's parents went to live in the city and the writer himself is living with his grandmother. So they have a great attachment. The writer is saying that in the morning she used to come with me in the school, and with it the writer is saying that in the morning she was singing the prayer in a monotonous way. Monotonous means what? In an equal rhythm. She used to pray, and parallelly she was doing the daily course of his household, and she was waking up the writer also, and parallelly taking the bath and dressed him in a nice manner, and regularly she used to we can say that sing a prayer, and her intention was that maybe because of my singing the author could learn the prayers by heart. But the writer only liked her voice so much, and the writer never bothered about learning the prayers by heart because the writer has not interest in that prayers. But then also the writer was listening the prayers with great attention. Why? Because the writer was liked her grandmother's voice very much. So after making the slate, the grandmother took the writer's slate ready with yellow chalk, whatever ink she felt in the pen, and give the bundle of that pen with the writer. She made the nashta for the writer as the stale chapatis. She spread little bit butter and sugar over it, and some chapatis she took for the dogs, the stray dogs. Whenever they used to go in the school, on the streets, they met with some dogs, and the grandma was used to give the chapatis, stale chapatis to the dogs. So that type of arrangement means she was taking care of the writer very much. She loved the writer, means totally she devoted her life to the writer only. And that is why the writer is saying that my grandmother and me were good friends. So students, with this you come to know that how great attachment the writer is having with his grandmother. So let's see what happened. This is a small lecture, and I will continue my chapter in my next lecture. Okay students, but what you have to do, you have to keep in your mind whatever I have given the instructions to you, and you have to make all the notebooks and whatever the question answers. As soon as the explanation of this lesson is over, you have to write the question answers of the chapter that are given back of the textbook. So if you have any query, you can buy the Camp publication book for English, because many students are buying all-in-one, then full marks, then Navneet. They are useless books for higher secondary classes. So for higher secondary, you have to buy the Camp book, Camp publication English book. Okay, it contains all the question answers, parallelly grammar related with the chapter. So this is good for you to practice it. So with this, I am ending my lecture. Okay students, bye.